Welcome to Shop Talk by Elevated Stylist with your hosts Sonia and Jody. We're here to bring you open and honest conversations, education, tools, and opportunities to learn and grow. Shop Talk is the junction of hair, business, and wellness, where we literally talk shop, featuring guests, coaches, experts, and thought leaders in the hair industry. Be sure to join us for new weekly episodes.
Welcome to another episode of Shop Talk. I'm Jody.
And I'm Sonia.
And today we have a special spotlight. Her name is Christina Ianniello, and she is an independent stylist, a salon owner, an educator. And we have a really great topic for you today. We are talking all about what really defines success in our industry. I think that's such a great topic, and I'm excited to talk about it. So welcome, Christina.
Thank you. Thank you guys so much for having me.
Mm-hmm. So do you want to tell us a little bit about yourself just to kind of start us off?
Sure. So like you guys said, my name's Christina. My Instagram handle is the Blonde Sage, and I feel like everyone kind of just refers to me as the Blonde Sage, even though it just kind of correlates to what I do. I specialize in blondes, any type of blonding and a foil. So no on scalp, no real like double processing stuff like foilage, balayage, baby lights, highlights. That's my jam. That's like what I love to do. I started off in the industry about 11 years ago. My background actually is in bridal and special effects makeup. And then I found a chair at a salon. I stayed there for 7 years. I had my son. I went independent just to have a little bit more flexibility, financial freedom. And then 5 weeks later, the shutdown happened. So, start your own business and do all the big things in life. And then you're like, oh my gosh, what's happening? Yeah. So it kind of changed the concept of like, what am I doing and how do I fit into this industry now? It was like starting all over again. And I think that kind of has paved a different path for me. I kind of look at being behind the chair much differently. They always joke like we're hair therapists or therapists. Yeah. And I think very quickly, so many of us behind the chair became like crisis counselors. Yeah. And I think it forged better bonds behind the chair with our clients and kind of, it molded us into different stylists, and it drastically changed the industry big time. Big time. So from there, I was independent for almost 2 years. And then a little over a year ago, I opened my own salon. So within the last couple of years, I've gotten into education. And right now I'm an educator for K-18. So that's very exciting. So everything just ties together for me there.
I love that. So now you're a salon. You went from independent to now being a salon owner. I know that you mentioned that was like very integral for like your success. Can we talk a little bit about like how you feel like that going from commission to independent and then salon owner? What kind of success did you experience and what did that mean to you?
I think those are very different levels as a stylist. Anybody that's gone through that, I think, can attest to that. And I think that growing throughout your career, success means many different things. Even if it's not gauged by the industry per se, success means a lot of different things. When I was in a commission salon, success was having at least somebody in your chair every day because you're commissioned, right? Or then that turned into making sure your Saturdays are always full. That turned into making sure you're booked, 4, 5, 6 weeks out. But then I think from there was burnout, there was kind of like loss of creativity. And I was just kind of hit a point where I was creatively and just as a stylist, I felt like I couldn't do anything bigger or better, just personally. So I made that jump to independent to kind of push myself and challenge myself. And this way I kind of had more freedom for different color lines, different product lines to join education or maybe work with other stylists or kind of, freelance a little bit more. So I think success for me at that point was, okay, I have the time home with my son. I'm growing as a stylist in every way that I want, and I'm still bringing home a paycheck. So even if I made the same amount I did behind the chair before, as long as I was happier and I could be the mom I wanted to be and be the stylist I wanted to be, that was success to me. So with the pandemic kind of being a big role pretty much the entire time I was independent, renting a space, I kind of forged an idea of what kind of culture and what environment I wanted solely for me. based on the stylist I had become independently and what I wanted for my clients. So that kind of, just kept me on this path, kept me aligned, and kind of developed the space I have now, I would say, and where I am in my own salon. So to me, success is giving my clients the best authentic experience I can give them as me and as a stylist, giving them exactly what they want, and giving them the environment where they kind of have a sanctuary, someplace they can go and just kind of be at peace and escape and feel and look as beautiful as possible. And that's like a mutual energy exchange for me. Like, I kind of love being in my own hub now to do that. And success is more, now I'm in this avenue of education where I'm able to kind of uplift stylists a little bit more, kind of bridge the gap between building up maybe some more of their self-value in what they're doing, and teaching new things and learning so much myself. So success is kind of now keeping all of the moving pieces moving and making sense, and still being around for my son, and doing all that fun stuff. So
Yeah, that's
Love
amazing.
that.
I
I
love
love-
that step-by-step break.
Yeah,
Yeah.
this is exactly what I was gonna say too. We're literally the same brain. I'm like, I love how you just like broke it down and like what success looked in every single element, because it does change. And I love that you made it so personal, because I think that's the thing that happens, is that we lose that personal touch of our success. And I think that success is always external. It's like, oh, what is this person doing? Or what does the industry expect out of me? Or where should I be at this point in my career that deems to be successful by industry standards? And I think that what I really loved was like, this gave me the freedom to have time with my son. And that was success.
And that's
Even though
okay. And
Yeah.
that's okay.
Yeah.
And that, I think it took a long time. I think like it's okay to want to be a working mom.
Yeah.
I think one of the pressures, that's why it was like a ping, one of the biggest pressures in the industry, I think sometimes it's like you're glorified as a stylist, right? But you have to keep your personal life so separate. You don't want anybody to know about it. And, you're missing out on things because your role is behind the chair with your clients, or making your money, or being here, or being there. That there's not too much of a balance. Like, the balance is integral to you as a person. I feel like that's not like shouted out enough, like that balance, like who you are first, before the stylist. And for me, that's the joy I have, like being a mom too. So
That's awesome. Yeah, it is true, because it is about you. It's not about your career, is about you. It's not about what other people think your career should be, right?
What's your tagline, Sonia?
What?
Making your career work for your life, not your life working for your career.
Yeah, it's like, how can this career support the life that I want, not me support this career? Because it just doesn't work that way, because that's how you lead to burnout. It's like you just put so much of yourself into what other people imagine you to be, instead of being like, hey, how does this career support me? Like, maybe I only want to work twice a week, and maybe I want to have time to do other passions. Especially I find as hairstylists or salon owners, we're multi-passionate people. We're not just like this one trick pony where we only know how to do hair. It's like we're therapists, we're painters, we're carpenters, we're all these things, we create things, we're accountants, we're social media experts, we're HR managers. Like, we have all these things that feed so many parts of our souls. And I think that we can tend to forget about them because of this industry pressure that like we need to be doing this specific thing.
Yeah. Let's talk a little bit about like social media expectations and pressure, and how it really paints a picture of what success is, and how we have to feel like we have to live up to that or we're not successful. What's your take on that, Christina?
I can say, like, with 100% honesty, I think there's a few times I've lost steam over comparing myself to what I see on social media. The vast majority of how we interact with fellow stylists, educators, salon owners, hair influencers is all on social media. And while that's great because everything is right at our fingertips, I think the platform has kind of become a place where we constantly compare ourselves. Like, this person is doing A, B, and C, and that's so amazing. And they're doing it at warp speed, and they're doing it on this level. And maybe I want to do that, but I'm not there and I can't bridge that. And then you start to feel, oh, why don't my pictures look like this? Why don't my clients look like models? Why am I not traveling? Why am I not charging X, Y, and Z when somebody posts a price increase, right? I think it takes you down notch by notch that, we don't always see what's behind the scenes for something like that. And I think that sometimes we can get caught up in the grind and trying to be relatable to everybody else, that we're not really just being true to ourselves and what kind of organically and authentically works for us. And I think sometimes when that happens, it comes across to clients. Like I'll give you an example. We have award shows. There's many, 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 and people have many different takeaways from these award shows. Last year was the first year I kind of went like hardcore, like posting all the time, putting my best work, watermarks on everything, the whole thing. Everybody knew I was entering, all my clients knew. And then I kind of, if I didn't get that like, or I didn't get that save, or I didn't get enough, I'm like, oh, people don't think my work is good enough. Like, I'm not there yet. Like, and what does that mean? Like, I'm not there yet. Like, and who like puts that level? Like, when you're here, you have arrived. Like, you're now respectable and worthy in this industry. Like, where is that? I just kept thinking, I'm not there yet. I'm not yet. Not enough people are liking my photos. Like, will I get nominated? And it started to snowball into my clients really seeing that and taking that on. I would hear a client that would say, oh, you took all those pictures of my hair. I didn't see you post them yet. And maybe it's because I hated the lighting in every single one. Didn't take away that I did an amazing job. It didn't photograph well. And even though I made a huge deal about taking the photos and a huge deal that I'm only entering all my best work into this competition, here's my client that comes, every 10 weeks, whatever, pays me their money, leaves with amazing hair. And you can see the deflation in them because you're like kind of changing it up a little bit. And I'm putting all this focus on social media for what I feel like success is, kind of like peer pressure success. And one of my clients was like, oh, did you ever, get nominated? And I was like, no, I think my photos aren't good enough. And this and that, just kind of being really candid. She's like, but the hair always looks great when you do it. Like, you are always great at doing hair. You always nobody sees that through your photos. Like, you're great at what you do and you're always busy. And like, look at all the amazing things that you do. Like, you're always doing something different every time.
Yeah.
Then I'm like, yeah, you're right. I think I got like so detached from why I do it and just proving myself to who I don't know. It's like you're proving yourself to the Wizard of Oz, right?
Yeah.
The hair industry is like the Wizard of Oz.
Yeah.
It's like, right? You're out, you get out of hair school, you're with your stylist friends, you're like, we're off, right? We're all on this mad dash race. We're all going to go together, even though we're all different people. We do all different things. Life hands us all different things, right? None of us are the same. We're all just going to go down this path. We're going to see the signs that are like, no, don't do that. Like, flying monkeys. Like, no, we're going to charge through. We're going to get to the core of the industry, right? You got like poppy fields, you got this, you got that, all this crazy stuff, wicked witches, right? And then you finally get like the Wizard of Oz is like this magnificent behind the scenes something that is so mystical that it's like, who's the man behind the curtain? Like, who is the physical industry, right? Like, the industry is so relative. Like, we make our own success. Like, as a stylist, like, was I taking paychecks home to pay my bills? Yes, that is success. As an independent stylist, am I networking with stylists and getting into education, paying my work, my overhead, and paying my personal bills, and taking my son to Target, let him buy whatever he wants? That is success.
Yeah.
Because nobody sees it doesn't mean it's not success. As a salon owner, you know
Very
what I
true.
mean? Am I able to, whatever, like, I think of what's a dream, host educators. Do I host educators? Yes, that is success to me. That means that I've arrived and I've created a space where other educators and stylists can learn alike. You know what I mean? There's that quote, like, if all you did today is survive. It's very bleak to me. But if all you did today was show up and do incredible hair and somebody paid you for that and you have money in the bank, that is success. That's not because you weren't on a plane going to California for a product launch for a brand you idolize. Because you weren't there, that doesn't mean you're not successful. And it's okay to still want that, but like the little days, the little moments, like that adds up to a greater success. It's like the day-to-day success that really builds, that I feel like is not glorified enough. Like, there's not enough people saying like, hey, did you learn something new and implement it on your client and they loved it? Yes, that is success.
Yeah.
That's success in a lot of different ways. And just because the industry might not glorify that tiny aspect of somebody behind the chair every day, it doesn't mean that it's not impactful. Doesn't mean you're not impacting people. Doesn't mean that you're instilling value in somebody else. Like that, to me, that's more successful. If I can share the value I feel with somebody else, or share what I've learned with somebody else, or make somebody feel and look better than they did before, like that is success. That's the core of why I do what I do.
Yeah, and you're putting better humans out there. Like if you made your client smile, and they're going to go out there and be a better human and share that smile with somebody else, and that smile is going to share with somebody else. It's like that trifecta. It's like that is success. And I think that I just love what you just said. Like it just,
Yeah.
that was a big mic drop.
Yeah.
It's so true though. It's like we forget the little moments. Like even Jody and I being salon owners, like you get such tunnel vision. You just get like, you just want to like have this end goal. And like, what is this end goal? Like you said, it's the Wizard of Oz. Like who like governs the hair industry?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Who's the president of the hair industry? Nobody.
Yeah.
Right.
We're all
It's like you want to break into the hair industry. Like all we hear is like the hair industry, right?
Yeah.
The leaders in the hair industry. And you want to break into the industry. You want to be the new spotlight platform stylist industry. Like, what is the industry?
Yeah.
Like, it's not like it's a conspiracy theory, but also like, what is it? When we break it down, what is it? And like, what does that mean to us?
Well, it's all of us just competing with each other. That's what it is, or trying to, or feeling like we have to do what everybody else is doing. Like I've been trapped there. I know Sonia's been trapped there. Like we all have.
Still trapped there.
Like I know. And it's like, it's crazy because that's what Instagram wants, like Instagram wants us all posting as much as possible. They want us to look at other people and try and do the same things. And then we get caught in this comparison spiral where we're feeling less than, not good enough, and devalued, where those are our three biggest birthrights: is feeling worthy, feeling like you can trust yourself, and feeling like you're proud of the things that you do, and that is what we're supposed to be really honing in on, because that's what makes us wake up in the morning, feel good about ourselves, feel good about the work that we do. By opening up Instagram and being like, oh, my work's not like theirs, or I'm not, exactly what you said, like I'm not on a plane going here, or I'm not booking all these coaching clients, or I'm not da 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 da. It's what you're doing each day that's successful. And I really love that you brought this to light, and this subject to light, because I think so much of us are trapped after the last couple of years, because that's really when the industry went bazonkers with all this like comparison, is when we've been at home, looking at freaking screens and thinking like, why am I not doing that? How come I don't have these opportunities? And it's like, do you actually really want those opportunities? Or are you happy, doing great hair and making people feel great and feeling great about yourself? Like, what's the point if you're feeling shitty about yourself?
Yeah,
absolutely.
Like, what is it you want? I think that it's so easy. And like, we've met a lot of people since we've done Elevated Stylist, and like we see them usually from social media and we're like, wow, this is cool. Then we meet them in person, which is amazing. Then you realize like how much work it is to be that present on social media, how much work it is to be an educator of that capacity, how much work it is to be doing multiple salons, how much work it is to be doing X, Y, and Z and all these other things. Like it is a lot of work. And I think that we need to get real with ourselves to be like, is this what I really want to do? Do I want to work 18 hours a day? Do I want to work 8 days a week? Because if you do, then great, like go for those things. If you're a generator and you have all those freaking energy, go for it. Yeah. But if you don't, like understand what it is that you want and what is that going to be for you. Like if you want to be more someone who's passive and chill, like find something that's going to support that. And I think that Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, YouTube, all these things are just feeding our brains and making us feel like we are not enough.
It's true. And I think for me, a big part of, what do you want to do in the industry, right? Because it's okay. There's nothing wrong with somebody being like a hair influencer, or somebody that, spends day in and day out cultivating their Instagram, cultivating, their craft, cultivating all of that. For me, I always felt called to, do blondes, do this, do that, educate. And then I just started getting opportunities with education. I'm like, it doesn't feel right. So I took a step back and I thought, well, this is what I want, right? But why? But why? Because I'm like, at the end of the day, like I could talk to anybody. I'm a conversationalist. I love people. I like will make anybody my best friend in a heartbeat. It's just I've been like that since I was born. But like I don't have the desire to be on planes every other day. I admire and just, and always inspired by platform artists. But like I don't have the desire to do that. I think knowing my personality, I would take it to heart too much to be criticized on a stage constantly. Does that mean I won't ever find myself on a stage? No, like I could not. But it's like, why do I want to educate? Like, why? Like if you resonate with what somebody else is doing at a higher level, like I wish I went back and thought like, well, why do I want to do that? And how do I make that my own journey? Because everybody can do the same steps. No one's ever going to go the same way. Or somebody may go somewhere seemingly faster than you, but it doesn't mean that their success is going to be longer than yours if you kind of take the steps that you need. But it's true. I think the pandemic really kind of flipped the industry a lot. Like we were kind of stuck on social media for like almost 2 years. That was like the hub, right?
Yeah.
And then like you're almost like it's actually harder. And I say this because I felt this as well. It's harder to be the person you think you should be and what's true to you on social media when the current is so strong with everybody doing the same thing. You're like swimming against the current. And that gets very overwhelming because you get next to no recognition. Like that's why we post and do stuff on social media. Like it's networking and it's a post portfolio, but essentially you want the recognition you can't get in person.
Yeah.
So it's harder. And I think Instagram makes it so much harder to really just pop a photo on there and be like, hey, I love doing this blonde today. And the algorithm always changes. And by the way, like if you don't, tag this person or do this, or like you're not going to get any clout, and then nobody's going to see your page and it'll be at 200 followers for the rest of your life. Good luck.
Yeah. But I think like that's where it's
200
at.
interested followers.
Yeah. And that's the thing is like posting our work as a portfolio is amazing. That's all we actually need to be doing.
Yeah.
So that when somebody goes on your page, or if somebody books an appointment and says, what's their handle? Like, I want to see their portfolio. That's really what it should be used as a tool. Like if you're not making money off of Instagram, don't sweat it. Like, like we shouldn't be putting so much pressure on ourselves. If I'm not getting a paycheck from Instagram, why am I putting myself out there and stressing myself out when really all I need to do is showcase my work? That's it. People just want to see what kind of hair do you do. And if you're looking at somebody and saying like, wow, I'd really like to know how to do that, reach out to them. What class did you take? Where can I go learn this? Like put the effort into going and learning that technique so that you can post it on your page and say, I now know how to do this. It's not about like, oh, they can do this, but I can't. Like we all have the opportunity to go and learn the same things. It's just taking that action towards building yourself up and learning new techniques.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Another mic drop.
You can tell there's just silence across the board. We're like,
full of them today, full of them. I love that. But it's true. I think that there's just so much pressure. And like now with TikTok just like taking over, I'm just like, I just can't with this. Like, we just can't. I don't want to go on a tangent, but like, we just need to really go back to the grassroots of like connecting with people in real life and knowing that those people are your greatest advertisement. How you made that person feel, the hair that they did, what it looked like in real life. Like, I mean, I can't tell you the amount of pictures that I've taken of a haircut that I spent an hour and a half and I thought it was perfect. And the picture that I took made it look like a shadow.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, well, that's great.
Yeah.
And you know what? It's okay. Over time, I think you just get used to it. And like, I think if anything we can say to like people out there, at least it's just like, who cares? Who cares?
It's true.
Who fucking cares about this fucking BS that's going on in social media? Your success is going to be your own personal things that you see in real life. That's going to be your success. Yeah. So with that being said, Christina, we would like to pass the mic to you to share with us a real tea a final mic drop that we'd like to do for
Okay.
this episode. We've had many mic drops, so let's keep the final one to you. We always love to leave our audience with a real tea, a tip, a trick, or a takeaway, something that they can put in their back pocket or their front pocket and just remember.
Whatever pocket,
Whatever pocket they have.
if you
And
have
just-
one. If you
And
have a pocket.
remember this episode as something impactful.
So the tip I would have is something I've thought about for a long time, and I have posted it, but I have no clout, so no one's probably ever seen it. So this is just as new as it could be. But I wish that, like, I myself right now could go back to my past stylist self and, failing to succeed at something at that time is not the same as failure. So if you're failing to maybe get out of a salon environment that you're not, you don't want to be in, that doesn't mean you're a failure. That doesn't mean like, oh, this is where I am now, right? So like, it's just a failed attempt at success. That means it's a detour. You need to go another way. Keep looking at it from a different angle, step back, step to the side, kind of look around. And at that, if you can't really see past that point, think, where do I want to be? Maybe think back from like, where do you want to be? And what are the steps that maybe I could take there and kind of bridge that, at these points that maybe we might falter a little bit. These are such teachable moments. Looking back, like this is what kind of prepares you for the next step that you want to take. And if you feel like you're at a point that you're, you might be failing, that's a good thing, because that means that you're identifying that something's not working for you and it's time for you to grow. Not everybody identifies that they can still grow or they want to grow. It's, that's when they have the analogy of a flower, right? It's just a little seed. It's underneath the dirt. It doesn't know if it breaks up another inch, it's going to be at the sun and bloom into a flower, right? Like we don't really know what our potential is if we can't see past what we think is failure. Like there's no such thing as failure. It's just a failed attempt at success. And I think consistency of little moments of success really grows towards that bigger success that we're looking for, as long as we can see what that means to us without comparison, to what somebody else's life or what somebody else's career may look like.
That was amazing.
Mic drop. I told you guys it was going to be another mic drop. I just knew it. So thank you so much. I love that little tidbit because, pivots are so great and they are integral to our success. So thank you so much for coming on this show with us today and sharing with us all your wisdom and really bringing this topic to light. It was a really great topic to talk about, and I'm sure that it won't be the last episode because I think we just need to continue this conversation and release some of that pressure that's been building up in our industry. So thank you so much for bringing this up and being a part of our community. We appreciate you.
Thank you. I appreciate you guys and everything that you are inspiring to everybody that listens and everybody that sees your message on social media.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. You guys can follow along. We will put all of Christina's information, how you can get in contact with her. She is a K-18 educator, so we will put the Facebook group in there as well. And do connect with her. She's amazing and she's a great hair friend.
Yes.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.
Thank you for tuning in, and be sure to join the party on our social channels. And if you have any questions, you can reach out via email at hello@elevatedstylist.com. We'd love to hear from you.